Hey y'all, Bridget Bartlett here. Today I'm going to show you how to create a newsletter inside of HighLevel. Now, this is something I have done before, but as HighLevel changes, as the tools and everything get upgraded, we have different processes that make this even easier than the last time. And this is something that I get asked about all the time. So instead of doing a whole series, I wanted to create just one video where it walks you through not just creating the newsletter, but also the automation process so that you can ensure that you are sending the newsletter to the right people in your contacts. Okay. So before we get started in all of this, I did want to show you how you can join our program. If you go to my vision agency at the top here, and actually, let me turn my little pointer thing on so you can see. So at the top here, you'll see my vision agency. We do have three different options. You can actually join our free community if you click here. Um, if you are interested in getting access to all the tools, so as a white label reseller, we do have lots and lots of tools. You can actually save hundreds of dollars a month if you're just interested in using the tools for your business. Also, if you are interested in joining our reseller program, you will see if you click here, this is for high level agency owners. You do need to have a high level account, but if you join for free, or you can join high level and then get our program for free. So you would just choose this plan. It takes you to my high level link here. So you can choose if you want the 30-day free trial of high level or if you want to upgrade to SaaS. If you're a current high level member, you can choose one of those options there and you will get access to our white label AI ads manager, our done for you system, AI ads, white label support, our live coaching Monday through Friday, our vision social autopilot, and our vision content AI. Okay. All of this is free. If you're a current high level member and you are already on SaaS or you aren't interested in upgrading, you just want to be able to join our program and resell our AI ads manager, get access to all of our coaching, you can join one of these plans here. Okay. So again, you want to go to myvisionagency.com. If you're interested in the reseller, you can choose this option. If you're interested in using all the tools only and saving a ton of money every single month, or you can even join our free community if you're not quite sure what you need or what your interest is. Okay. Now, inside the marketing tab, you will see that we have emails, we have campaigns and templates. Now, before we even go into this process, I want to show you a little pro tip here. So let's go into the settings tab and let's scroll down to tags. And before I go too deep into this, because I have done this training before where no one could even hear me. So if you guys could just type in high level in the chat, I would really appreciate it. Just let me know that you can hear me. I am going to continue on. So hopefully that starts popping in so I know. Okay, so inside of the tags here, you want to go to new tag and we're just going to create a new tag. And this is the tag we're going to use to identify each new content or current contact rather. We are going to identify them as someone we want to add to the newsletter. So I like to use just newsletter tag. Okay. So I'm going to add a create the tag there. Thank you all so much. I see the high levels coming through. Thank you. Okay. So we've created our tag called newsletter. Now let's go back here and I'll show you why that's so important here. So let's go to templates. And here we want to just create a standard template that we are going to use for all of our newsletters. So I'm going to go ahead, click create new. We can import email templates. If you have some built on another email marketing platform, you can actually import those. You can create a blank one. You can also use the email marketing templates that we have, or you can create a template from an existing campaign. Now, I love, if you've seen any of my videos, I love to create a blank template myself, but I have a sneaky feeling a lot of you are going to use email marketing templates. So I'm going to show you how to do that here. Now, I don't know if we type in newsletter because most of these are like already in a newsletter platform. So I don't see that. But really, what we want to do is just choose the category down here and then choose the style that we like because really we can make this anything that we want to. So this one looks pretty cool. Let's just choose this. And of course, we can check it out if we want to, or just click here to import. We're going to add this template that's already pre built for us. Okay, so now we have imported this template. You can see it looks really, really nice here. And we can swap out any of these things here. Like you see this image. If I wanted to change the image, I could actually create one using AI, or I could upload one from the media library here. And for the sake of time, I'll just save that step there, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Of course, if you want to edit any of the text here, you can just start typing like VR. Okay. So that's how you want to do that. You can change the text up here. You can change the style. You can change it to be paragraph or heading. You also can change the text there. You can change the size of it, the color. You have all the standard editing options here. You even have AI if you want to generate the entire newsletter using AI or improve the writing, fix spelling, grammars, and all of these things here. Super cool that we can do that. Now you'll see over here on the left-hand side, if you want to choose any of these elements, all you need to do is select it and drag it in. So if I wanted to add a button here, I could just click add button. And then of course, when I click on that, I have all of the editing options. So what do I want the text on the button to be, the font, the style? I can change the color. I can change the action. Do I want it to be like to mail someone? Do I want it to attach a file, a phone number? Do I have something else I want to attach it to, or a URL? Most of us will use a URL, so we just paste that there. You can even use trigger links if you want to, or any of the other custom values that you like here. You can also change the background color and so on. Okay. Now, what's super cool, if you did need to add code here, your logo, your social media icons, which most of us will do, you also can, if you scroll down here, you'll see you can also add cart items. So people can actually purchase directly from your newsletter if you have the plans listed here. You have the FAQ section, which I absolutely love. It's nice to, if we just drag that in here, you'll see the line appears when it's cool to do. So let's just put it here. And then you'll see you can just type in the title there. And then when you expand that, you'll see that takes up a lot less space in your emails. And it's also really nice to put that at the bottom to answer the most frequently asked questions. So you're kind of building like an entire website in the email campaigns. Now, I do want to, of course, say that typically the emails that are not this pretty get the most reads. Okay. I know that it sounds so crazy, but the more information, the more busy, and actually the more pretty you make this look. Now, when I say pretty, I don't mean like ugly emails get more results, but I will say that adding more of this content, it does typically end up more often in the spam folder unless you have a really great list. Okay. And you can see all of the, I mean, this would be a heavy email, but you can see really it's unlimited, the beautiful things that you can do inside of the email with all of these options. You can even create an image slider. They also have the option to check out the preview. A lot of emails do have that. So you'll see view this email in a browser. So you could actually click that and it would open up a new browser. I'm going to delete that there. But you also can see, you can send a test email. You can preview the template, what it's going to look like on desktop, tablet, and mobile. So you definitely want to make sure that your email looks good in all of those places. You do have the ability to set the settings here. So if this is going to be your newsletter template, then you would maybe want to put the from name. So Jane Doe. And then what is Jane Doe's email address? It's going to say from, let's just say janedoe.com. And then you could add your subject line like uh, weekly. Now I'm just going to type in weekly newsletter, but I hope yours is much more engaging. And then the preview text is going to simply be like what and this is viewable on some emails in some settings, right? They'll be able to read like the first line or so of the email. So you can make this super engaging, like, wow, I can't believe this happened. Dot, dot, dot. Okay. So you could type that out there. And of course, on any of these, you could use custom values and then just pop in whatever that is. Okay. So if I wanted to use instead of the front email here, I could choose here, go to account, and then whatever that account email is, it's going to be put here where the from email is. Okay, so I could change that account email a million times and I'll never have to come back and edit this email template. Okay, so once you get the template saved, and I'm actually going to name this template newsletter. Of course, we want to spell newsletter. Okay, now let's go ahead and save. Now, I did want to bring your attention to this area here. These are layouts, they're just blocks. So, for example, if you wanted to use image and text and you wanted to pull that whole block in there, you'll see it's like pre built sections, and you can change the alignment of each of the blocks there. If we go back, you can even, let's delete this whole block here. And then, of course, you see like if I wanted this one here, I just bring in that block, and then I could change the layout and all of those things. Okay, let's just delete this and let's save. Now you also, I wanted to show you, you do have the ability to manage these elements here. So if you click here, you'll see that it shows column and column. And if you click here, you'll see that you could change the layout. So if we choose this here or this, it changes the layout of that specific column that we're working on here. Okay, so how you can see it's this up here that is changing. Okay. So also we have the appearance here. So you can create your the background color and all of that. You can edit the button and so on. And then also you do have the ability to save these different areas. So let's say that I wanted to use this section in many of my emails, or maybe my footer. I can actually click here and save that section, and then it will appear here in any email that I build. And I wanted to drag that in. Now that it's saved, I could just drag it in there and then use it in any email. Okay, so let's go ahead and save now, and let's go back, because now what we want to do is create an email campaign from our newsletter template. So I'm going to go here and create a campaign. I'm going to do new, and we're going to choose our newsletter template. So I'm going to select that here. And of course, we want to edit this however we wish with all of our updated information. And we want to send or schedule. Okay. So you have the ability to send now, of course. You could also schedule for a different time here. You could do a batch schedule if you wanted to drip this out. You could also do an RSS schedule, which I absolutely love. So if you have a blog RSS feed, you can actually make your newsletter super simple by pasting in the RSS URL. And if you did want to send this, let's say once a week, you could just toggle the days off that you don't want to send it on. You could do weekly here. And then let's say every Saturday at 10 a.m., I want it to pull in the information from the RSS feed, and it will automatically post using this information. Okay, so it would be from Jane Doe. The subject line would be newsletter or weekly newsletter. The preview text would be, wow, I can't believe this happened. This is just what we just created. Now you can see down here, this is why we wanted to create the tags. Okay, so I'm going to click there, and you'll see now we can choose the newsletter tag that we created. Okay, so we have newsletter. So now what we're doing is we're setting up our campaign, whether you're choosing to schedule it, to batch schedule, or use the RSS feed. You're going to have this option here when you decide, how you're going to set it up, to choose who you're actually sending this to. Okay. Now, when you choose the newsletter tag, you'll see down here, we have the option, do you want to send only to the people who currently have that tag, or do you want to send to all the people in the future that have that tag? So let's say that this newsletter is going to go out. It's going to capture that RSS feed, which you don't have to have, by the way. You can just create and send, schedule. It's the same process. Okay. But if I did want to set this up so that I never have to edit the email or whatever, and I'm using the RSS feed, and every week on Saturdays at 10 a.m., it's going to look for all the people that have that newsletter tag, and it's going to send it. Now, if I schedule it today, let's say Billy Bob gets the newsletter tag tomorrow. Do I want Billy Bob to have this newsletter that's coming out on Saturday, or do I want him to not have this newsletter. Maybe I have another one that I want him to receive. Okay. So, what I want to do is I want to say, yes, I want to include them because anyone who ends up with this newsletter tag before the time when the email gets sent, I want to include them. Okay. So, I'm going to say, yes, include them. And of course, I could click save here. We want to come up here. We don't have the RSS feed, so it's not going to let us send. But if we just did schedule, you'll see it be the same process. So let's say that um, Saturday, or I'm sorry, on the 13th, which is Friday, let's say at 10 a.m. is when we're scheduling this. We put in that custom value for the email, so we don't need to worry about that. It's going to be sent from Jane Doe with this subject line, this preview text. It's going to be going to all the same people. Yes, we want to include them. Do we want to track the links? Sure. Do we want to add UTM tracking to the links? Sure. Let's go ahead and do that. So now this is going out Friday at 10 a.m. We can schedule that. Okay. So all of the people now that have that newsletter tag before Friday at 10 a.m. are going to receive that newsletter. Now, let's say we want to go ahead and schedule this maybe a month ahead of time. We can go ahead and create the next newsletter here. We're going to choose the same template that we created. We're going to edit this with all of the next week's information. We're going to send and schedule. Let's do schedule here. And let's say that this one we want to go out on the 20th at 10 a.m. So the following Friday. And again, we want to choose our contacts from the tags. We're going to choose the newsletter tag. And we're going to say, do we want all of the people who come in before this one? Do we want them to have all the people who have the newsletter tag between now and then? Do we want to include them in the contacts for this newsletter going out? Typically, we do want to do that. Okay. Now, if you had some type of like campaign where they had to like go in order, maybe you wouldn't want to do that. But if we're just sending out a weekly newsletter that we want all of our contacts to have, we're going to have this newsletter tag. And we can say, yes, everyone who receives that tag, no matter when it is, they're going to receive the next newsletter that's going out. Okay. Again, we could choose this, we could choose the UTM tracking, and then of course we could schedule. Okay. So now you'll see that we have, once it goes back to the workflow, you'll see that we have two different campaigns. One is scheduled to go out on the 13th. And once it recognizes this, it will be scheduled to go out on the 20th. Okay. You can always go back here and update the email content, reschedule it, move it to a folder and icon it, or even delete it. Once it is has been sent, you'll be able to see you'll click these three dots and you'll see the analytics and all of that. You can also check the statistics here according to the date. And you'll see that your top performing emails and all of that. Okay. So that's really how you want to schedule it out. Now let's talk about how to actually add that newsletter tag. Okay. So you'll see here in the contacts that we have, that we can actually select. Let's say we wanted to create a smart list. Okay, so we'll go over here. We have all of our contacts here, and then we could choose all of the ones who have the newsletter tag. Okay, so we type newsletter. You'll see here, we could create this smart list. When you create the smart list, I already have one created. You'll see over here, it appears, and then it will show all of the contacts in this list that have that newsletter tag. So that's one great way of having that. Now, of course, if I wanted to manually send these contacts obviously it wouldn't be like a newsletter, but let's say all the people in this list, I wanted to send manually an email. I would just click here to send email once I select them all, and then I would be able to send the email. So click and proceed, and I could just write the email here and then send it manually. Now, the best way to add people to the newsletter is inside of your automation. So let's say that here in the booking, let's say that I have a showed process, or actually, let's say that, let's just kind of build one and make sure that, let's do reoccurring, let's say order submit it. So let's say that we want to, and this is a very common use case here. Okay. Now, let's say that someone signs up for our AI ad software, we have like all of our automations in place. Like we're going to, tag them, remove the tag. We're going to update the opportunity pipeline. We're going to send them an email. We're going to notify our team member. Maybe we're going to wait a day. We're going to send another email, wait a day, send another email. We could even have like 45 onboarding emails in our initial campaign if we want to. And at the end of that, of course, we don't want them to receive the newsletters because we want to make sure that we're not bombarding them with emails that don't make sense. We want to get them through that initial campaign, and we want to make sure they get all that information. But at the end of that campaign, we want to, guess what? Add the newsletter tag. Okay. So that's what's going to help you to stay organized and ensure that all of the people who have that newsletter tag, you're not sending multiple emails a day to them. And also, you can tell that they have received their onboarding. And, by the time they've gotten through all of this, chances are their email is valid, or they've unsubscribed, or that it's marked as spam, or something like that. And then you having that newsletter tag, you're not adding people to the newsletter without them going through this process to kind of test that email address. Okay. Now it's also cool. You could add another workflow. Let's see if I wanted to go up here and create a workflow. Let's just start from scratch. You could choose the trigger to be, let's do tag, contact tag, and say tag removed newsletter. And then you could have a separate workflow. So you have, when the newsletter tag gets added, of course, those contacts end up in your newsletter tag or your newsletter campaigns. But let's say that you remove that newsletter tag. What do you want to happen? You may want to mark them as D&D, or maybe you just have other automations, or maybe you have an unsubscribe automation and you want to make sure that when they unsubscribe that you remove that newsletter tag. So the goal here is just to make sure that when your newsletters are going out, they're going out to the appropriate people. Okay. You can also make sure, like, let's say that you don't have, maybe you have team members' emails in your contacts. Maybe you have clients or something like that that you don't want to be, or partners that you need their contact information, but you don't necessarily want to send them the newsletters every single week. This helps you to eliminate that because you have all of your contacts here, but then you have the certain people that you want to receive your newsletters. Those people are tagged with newsletter. Okay. So hopefully this helps you guys get all of your newsletters set up. And again, if you're interested in joining our program, whether you want to join the free community or you're interested in accessing the tools or become a reseller in our coaching program, you can go to myvisionagency.com up at the top. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye.